How's it going, everybody? Rye right here today, and we are back with your Colorado Rockies here in off-season number 2. Ready to get it underway in an off-season that I think is going to be very impactful for the future of our franchise. And next year, I really want to take a big step forward. I want to make the playoffs, and I want to win a couple playoff games, maybe a series, right? I mean, if we make the wild card and win a couple, we're technically on to the next round. But I think, basically, based on how good we were, with the roster that I thought was going to be average at best, and we were above 500. Considering we were 4 games behind the Padres, and we kind of lost to them in 4 games to end the season, so maybe it could have been closer. But a full season of players that are taking the next step and doing a little bit better. Giolito's growing, Rogers is growing, Gallo's growing, Jones is growing, Tovar's growing, Langston's growing like a fiend, McMahon is doing his thing, Jack Flaherty's growing, right? We got another season where all these guys now come in at a much higher overall, and I really want to make room for other players to call up as well. Pitchers are interesting, right? Because we got Giolito, Flaherty. They're going to be our 1-2, maybe. We got Clifford Murdoch, who's already up to a 78 overall. He's growing pretty nicely, so I want to keep him in the majors. He grew really, really well. That's 4 overall points in 1 season, which, despite having, I'd say for a rookie campaign, that's a pretty solid outing. 184 pitches, 30 games started, 4.11 ERA, a WAR of 2.4. I mean, that's actually great. I got to say that's probably pretty great. Manoah, we're hoping to see if we can revitalize his career now that he's out of Toronto. Same thing with Ian Anderson, but coming out of Atlanta. He's a guy that I'm fine in the bullpen with. Chris Flexen, we could probably upgrade from Chris Flexen. We're going to have the cap in the budget, I should say, to make that kind of addition. But Chris Flexen, he did pitch 32 fewer innings and had a much, much worse ERA. He is growing, though. But, I think I might let him walk. We'll re-sign Murdoch. We'll re-sign Manoah. We'll re-sign Anderson. Ruzinski, I think we don't have to spend too much money on him. So all in all, I think we've got room for one more starting pitcher to enter our rotation. And then in the bullpen, I was very actually satisfied with the bullpen. Maybe Brent Sutter. He's under contract for a couple more seasons. He is declining a little bit. He did not have the best season. Yeah, negative WAR. Maybe somebody we can look to upgrade on. Brad Hand, he's also dropping off after a good season. He actually improved upon it. So Tyler Kinley, how did he do? 4.52. Chris Stratton was an all-star for us. He was great. And then Justin Lawrence. I did, you guys mentioned in the comment section of the last one that for the guys that are already in the 70s, to change their potential so that they're also in the 70s. So I did that for Justin Lawrence. I put it 1 overall below. So his potential 75, where he's 76. So I figured that was the most fair for these guys to hang on to their overall, but he's had 2 really good seasons. So if he's up for a contract, which he's not, which is great, neither is Kinley. So our bullpen is pretty much signed. Maybe I move on from Sutter and try and spread that money around a bit. We've got Motzek and Lucas Gilbreth. I could call him up. I think that'd be fine. He pitched 2 innings. It didn't give up a run. That's great. John Cannon, though, probably not going to be ready to come up to the majors this year. So maybe Lucas Gilbreth. I mean, he's on a ridiculously cheap deal. I probably should call him up. He can replace Brent Sutter in the bullpen, and it's lefty for lefty, and we're absolutely fine. As far as catcher is concerned, maybe we look to upgrade from Elias Diaz, who's declining a little bit. Depending on what he wants, I think we can afford to bring him back for another year. Drew Romo is probably ready to be the backup in the majors, considering that it was Brian Serven before him. So I think I'm ready to play Drew Romo in the majors this season. At first base, it's Ben Langston's, obviously. Anthony Francisco is definitely a good enough hitter, especially against lefties with that 75 contact, where I think I can call him up, and they may actually play him every day, or I should say every time against lefties. So it could be Langston and Francisco who take the jobs at the starting and backup first baseman. At second base, obviously, it's Brendan Rodgers. Adel Amador, I shifted over to second base. He's definitely not ready yet. Ryan McMahon obviously has third base locked down. And Josh Rojas, I'd like to bring him back if he's not signed. I mean, Gio Urshela's got another year, but I'd like to bring Josh Rojas back. So these 2 guys can, again, be our backup infielders. Rojas can play third, second, and short, and Urshela can play third, first, second, and short. So he can play anywhere on the infield, actually. So these 2 guys are the perfect kind of players that I'm considering backups in the majors. Isaiah Cole, not quite there yet. Junior Caminero, he might actually be worthy of a call-up. So maybe we look to move on from Gio Urshela. 250 at-bats, did bat 288. He had a WAR of 1.7 and a runs created of 34. Josh Rojas had 537 plate appearances, 294, and a runs created of 85. So I think if anything, I would like to move on from Gio Urshela and call up Junior Caminero to be, just in a backup. So right, we're turning it over to the younger guys in the 70s here. Just got to remember that low 70s is actually doable. You can use those players in the majors. So Francisco and Caminero, I think, are going to make their debuts next year. Joey Gallo, Grichuk, Jones, and Veen, absolutely in the outfield. Maybe if we can find somebody to upgrade from Grichuk. Jonathan Daza is not that guy, but he could be a decent enough backup. Another 2 years on Grichuk's deal at $8 million. We should have plenty of budget, all things considered. Yanquiel Fernandez is really close. I just don't really have a spot for him just yet. Hopefully there's a center fielder that I can go after in free agency this year. And that pretty much sums up the plan. So probably going after maybe one more starting pitcher, right, as we let Flexen walk and just upgrade from him. Probably a backup catcher, or maybe just see if Elias Diaz, depending on what he wants, maybe we can upgrade from him. So a catcher of any type if we don't bring back Diaz. First base is fine. Second base is fine. Probably getting rid of Gio Urshela at 32. Probably could get something average for him, like a middling prospect at $5 million for one more year. That shouldn't be too hard. At shortstop, we'll call up Caminero, and then in the outfield, we'll hopefully upgrade from Grichuk at center, which means Jonathan Daza gets sent back down to the minors. So that's our plan. How's it going to go? We'll see, but let's go ahead and get through the postseason here. The Yard Goats have won the Eastern League Championship Series. We love to see that. And the Dodgers defeat the Yankees in the World Series as they swept them. Holy cow. The Dodgers 3-1 over the Cubs, 4-1 over the Marlins, and 4-0 over the Yankees, who were coming for the wild card. 2-0 over Houston, 3-2 over Tampa, 4-3 over LA, and their luck finally ran out there in the World Series. So yeah, tough. I'm not shedding a tear for the Yankees, though. Here we go. Offseason is ready to begin. Qualifying offer is 20.4. Who has retired? Charlie Blackmon. Did he retire yet? Please tell me he retired. Charlie Blackmon. No, he did not retire yet. He's still going. He's still kicking. Anybody from our team retire? It doesn't look like it. All right, so we're going to keep going here. Nobody got inducted in the Hall of Fame. That's fine. And here we go. Exclusive free agent negotiations is just Elias Diaz. So you guys can't see it right now, but it's $98 million of surplus. Elias Diaz for just a year, 2 years, wants $4 million. Is he worth that? I mean, 280, he batted really, really well this past season. Did drop off significantly in runs created. It may be time to look elsewhere at catchers. I think I'll let him go ahead and be a free agent. I think we will let him walk. Our coaching staff is all set, and we're not going to rebrand the team. So with one guy on an exclusive free agent deal and $98 million to spend, like I said, guys, I think we can go out and get ourselves an upgraded catcher, a starting pitcher, maybe not an ace, but at least another quality one, and then an upgraded center field over Grichuk. Grichuk is fine being a backup, but I think I'll want to upgrade from him as an everyday catcher, right? Or a center fielder. Because we had Nolan Jones and Joey Gallo, and I think we just need one more before our outfield is set. All right, so we're here at free agency number 1. And as far as salary arbitration goes, I don't think I want to give it to Chris Flexen. Like I said, he's been pretty good for us, honestly, but he's coming off of a down year. He pitched 30 innings fewer, and just didn't do as well in that time. And I want to get one more guy that's immediately an upgrade, right? And there's plenty of players out here with our 98 projected surplus that we could go after, right? A Max Fried if we wanted to get ourselves a stud lefty, although he did not have a good year this past year, 420, but still had a good WAR. So ERC was right about there. FIP was lower than it was the previous year. So, I mean, depending on what he wants, he's looking for $18 million a year for 5 years. I think I would be willing to give that to him. A stud lefty like him, to be the ace. We could also still go after Shane Bieber here, who had a very much a down year, but he's still a great pitcher. So I think he was just unlucky. And, oh wow, he wants 21.9 for 5 years versus Max Fried wanting 18.4 for 5 years. Now, I know he's 2 years older, but I don't see how that adds up. Tyler Glasnow? No, who's the youngest? I think it was Mike Soroka here. He's pitched 190 innings in back-to-back years. ERA has been phenomenal both years. WAR has been good, and ERC has been heckin' consistent. And to offer him, 5 years at $15 million, I mean, he's only I could give him 6 years, right? I feel like this is the kind of guy that we just bring in. He's another solid player. He probably wouldn't be the ace, but we don't need to let him know that right now. He can compete with Giolito, but looking at our own organization, I do kind of want to bring back Motzek. I thought, for maybe 2 years, maybe we'll just give him 1 year at the 1.8 he's asking for. He is 34, right? And we're hopefully going to have guys to replace him. Ian Anderson, I think I'm going to give him and Alek Manoah like the same type of deal. I'll give them each like 2 years at $2 million a season, just about. There we go. $2 million over 2 years. I wonder what the arbitration ask would be. 2 years for Alek Manoah. He wants quite a bit more, so maybe I'll have to give him like I'll give him the 2.8 he's looking for. I can offer him a salary arbitration, so I'm looking at giving him like 2.8. I can give him, I'll offer him that as well, just so we can offer them arbitration. And oh my God, that's ridiculously cheap. $850,000. Fine. There we go for Ian Anderson. So if they don't take the contract, we should be okay. Josh Rojas, I do want to bring him back. Like I mentioned, I think, a 3-year deal for a backup, 2-year deal. I mean, it's cheap. That's real cheap. I don't want to pay him the extra $1 million per season, right? If he's just going to be depth. And oh my God, he wants like no money. That's right. We'll give him 2 years at $2 million. I think that's perfect for the kind of player he is. Jonathan Daza, I think another 1-year deal would be fine. I'm okay with giving him like 900 and I'll give him $1 million for a year. And if I bury him in the minors, I bury him in the minors. But everybody here that I can offer arbitration to is fine. I'm not going to offer arbitration to Motzek. He got 1.5. I'm offering him 1.8. He's pretty interested. And Flexen, like I said, I'm planning on letting him go. I will tender the contracts. As far as the important guys like Caminero, Francisco, Veen, and Murdoch here, there's more down there like Yanquiel Fernandez, Roger Villafuente, Benny Montgomery, and more. I think for Clifford Murdoch, I think I'd want to give him 4 years at 1.7. I feel like that's a great deal for him. I've been kind of playing around with the depth chart, and I don't think this is like guaranteed, but if you take a look, Murdoch by next season should be an 86, and that's where he sits at, an 86. And if I could get an 86 overall pitcher for, however many years, so it would take him a year to get to 86. But if I can get him at 86 for 3 seasons at under $2 million, I feel like that's a fantastic number for us. If we can just bump that down there to, the 6.7. There we go. We'll bump it up 1, so it's still 6.7 a year. 6.8 or I should say 1.7 per year, not 6.7, but 6.8 for 4 years. I feel like that's great. Zach Veen, I want to give him, I'll give him 6 years at under $2 million. Are you kidding me? Taking a look at the same depth chart thing, flipping through the years, Zach Veen gets to an 81 in 2027, 84, 86 in 2029, right? So he does eventually get there. And getting him under $2 million for the 6 years, I feel like is another fine contract offer. Again, we're going to probably be paying a little bit more than we should, but 6-year deal at under $2 million, I think is fantastic. He's fine with being a platoon player. He wants to play close to home. I'm not going to be able to quite offer that, but I'll give him, I'm going to bump it down as much as I can. 11.5 over, 1.9. That should be good enough interest to get him to sign that. Anthony Francisco is renewable, so we'll just go ahead and do that. I'll skip over Ruzinski so you guys don't have to see that. Junior Caminero, I think I'm going to give him the same kind of deal as Zach Veen. Taking a look here, if we flip through the future, where's Caminero? He doesn't come up, until 2027. So maybe I should wait a couple of years because Caminero, he's in the DH slot down here at a 78. I guess you know what? No, I'd rather before he becomes a 78 and then starts asking for quite a bit of money. I think I will just go ahead and buy all those arbitration years out from him. And I mean, like I said, $2 million a year is really not too bad. Although, I mean, there we go. Actually, 1.5 for 5 years to see what we get out of him. 1.6. There we go. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that deal. 5 years at 1.6. He'll be 26 at the end of that. Basically like the Brendan Rodgers deal. Roger Villafuente is just renewable. Yanquiel Fernandez, just renewable. Benny Montgomery is just renewable. How about John Cannon? He's renewable. Of course, Isaiah Cole, he's renewable. Sean Rivas, who we signed just because he had potential. Sure. Drew Romo. I can't offer these guys any more years. Chris Foley, who we traded Andrew McCutchen for. Adele Amador. Yep, these guys are all renewable. So other than that, I don't really think there's anybody. Luke Girard, our draft pick, we'll give him another year. Hopefully he can come up sooner rather than later. He'll have 2 more years of renewable, but you know, he's growing really, really nicely. Already a 63, so I'm very satisfied with that. Other than that, I think I'm gonna go through and do this myself, and I'll catch up with you guys when I start offering out some free agency dollars. So I have officially gone through and tendered all the contracts that we needed to, and I've also made a couple offers in free agency. We are offering $69.2 million out right now with a projected surplus of 98, which gives us $29 million worth of surplus projected anyway. And yes, guys, we are going to go after Max Fried here. He's not qualified. I didn't want to go after the guys that had the qualifying offers made. I was really, really strongly debating going after Juan Soto, but I do not want to give up our first round pick. I believe, signing a player that received will forfeit a draft pick to his previous team. I don't want to do that with San Diego. I don't want to forfeit a pick to them. So we're going to pass on that. And the players I'm going after are Max Fried and Mike Soroka. Both of these guys, I mean, a dominant lefty here in Fried, and Soroka's got some really good underlying numbers in back-to-back years, so it wasn't just a fluke. And you guys might be asking, well, what's the plan then with all of our starting pitchers? I mean, we've got Giolito, Flaherty, and Murdoch already, and then Ian Anderson and Manoah. If I sign 2 more starting pitchers, then Anderson and Manoah are battling it out, and maybe one of them goes to the bullpen. I mean, maybe. Ian Anderson's only got 77 stamina. I don't necessarily think I want to do that, but it's one of those. I'll wait and see, and I'll figure it out. Maybe one of these guys has got to pitch. I'd probably pitch Manoah in the minors for part of the year, and let Ian Anderson be the long reliever, just simply because he's got, he's got less potential than Alek Manoah does. So that might be one where you guys have to help me out a little bit. But as far as the rest of the free agents we're going after Doogie, Alex Verdugo. He's been clutch in the past for us with the Red Sox series. And as much as I want to avoid signing the same players and going after the same players, for the outfielders that were out there, I mean, that I could possibly throw at center field that can also do a job at the plate, he really felt like the guy. I mean, there's Manuel Margot here, who's, pretty good fielder, only 260 at-bats. Runs creative 31.6. I don't know. Kevin Kiermaier also piqued my interest. I just thought at the plate he wasn't quite good as Doogie for the money. Kiermaier wants, $7 million a year, but he is 34. Doogie is 28 only still. So he's one of those players, great contact, awesome vision, and a good enough fielder that we can get by for now. And that would make we'd probably play him at center over Joey Gallo just because of the speed aspect. So Gallo would stay in left. Grichuk would slot to the bench. Nolan Jones stays in right. Zach Veen and Grichuk then are our backups if Doogie's our center fielder, which I'm fine with. I'm happy with that. I thought about Nolan Jones playing center, but with that arm and fielding, I definitely think he's made for right field. And then in left, Joey Gallo, he's only got 48 speed. I just thought that was not going to be enough to cover the ground in center field. 46 speed there for Verdugo, but he is the better of the two fielders, I think. Yeah, slightly better, I want to say, than Joey Gallo. It's pretty much negligible, but just an upgrade over Grichuk. He, like I said, he was an all-star, and that was clearly just a one-off season. He definitely regressed pretty hard last year. Pretty much all of his metrics took a major step back, and enough for me to say I'm going to go out and grab Doogie. He is 33. He's not getting any younger. He's got a contract for this season and next, so we've got plenty of options to get out of that contract. And I'm pretty satisfied. I don't really see myself needing to go after many other players. We're going after Elias Diaz again. Of all the catchers that are out there, he was the best one. Best one. We know what he's done for us. We know what he can do. We know what he's capable of. And he fits the locker room. I guess it's just my headcanon. And then we've got a couple guys just for depth, that other players that I had to let go. So $29 million in projected budget. If we want to do anything, maybe we want to make a trade. We still can make a trade, but really nobody's got anybody signed, although the Red Sox have some players signed. So we could maybe go after and make a big splash trade, but I think for now what I'll do is I'll end up trading away Gio Urshela, excuse me, not Julio Urias. I just looked at his name on the Red Sox there, but Gio Urshela, I will trade him away, and I'll let you guys know what happens there. But for now, I think we're going to keep going on our steady climb and our steady progression. Max Fried would definitely be an absolute steal of a signing. We'll see with Mike Soroka as well. Doogie, I think we know he always simulates well. So we'll keep advancing a couple days here, and I'll let you know when the big stuff happens. Some good news popping through here, guys. Alek Manoah is going to take the 2-year, $5.5 million contract to avoid the arbitration offer. Same thing with Tyler Matzek. And then we've got Josh Rojas back as well. Elias Diaz and Alex Verdugo signed in free agency. So we're still just waiting on the 2 pitchers that I'm really, really hopeful. I mean, Fried, get a stud lefty like that would be amazing. And then Mike Soroka, like I said, good underlying numbers, and I think he's just an immediate upgrade over some of the guys we have, right? I want Manoah or Anderson to hit, but I also don't want to risk my next season on it. Next year, year number 3 is the year I want to make some noise, and we've got the budget. We've been waiting for it. We don't really have anybody coming up behind them that, you know, are going to get here before these guys at the top age out. Alek Manoah and Ian Anderson, they got to prove it, or you know, they may be on their way out. But that's why I gave him a 2-year deal. Prove it this year. If not, I can move on from him. It'll be just fine. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Max Fried, the stud lefty from free agency, is coming to Colorado on a 5-year, $19 million per year deal. And we have now. Oh wait, I think you know what? It told me I reached my maximum roster size, so I will go ahead and definitely clear some roster space so we can go back after Mike Soroka. But with $49 million still in surplus, and now Max Fried joining the starting rotation, we got a nasty 1-2 duo here. Fried and Giolito, Jack Flaherty on the way, Clifford Murdoch's coming up, and then Ian Anderson and Alek Manoah. We'll see what we do with them. We are going to dump Brent Sutter off for Patrick Mooney. This is not my plan to clear the space on the roster, but I do want to get Brent Sutter gone as we look to move on from some of these guys. Brad Hand's on the last year of his deal anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. But we are going to move Brent Sutter because he's got another year on that contract. For Patrick Mooney, an okay catcher prospect. He's 18, 47, B potential. So, I mean, maybe one for the distant future, but for now, you know, let's take can I just throw them? Fine, I'll throw them Braxton Fulford as well. Just throwing him back another player just because. Why not? So there we go. Offer the trade. Sounds like a good deal to them, and beautiful. So we clear up a little budget, get ourselves a young prospect, and can definitely still sign Mike Soroka. Here we are, guys, at the draft lottery, so let's go ahead and get to it. Maybe we can get as lucky as the Astros did. We do have a 0.5% chance this year for a shot at number 1. I really don't think it's going to happen, so I'm just going to click Simulate Lottery. We'll see what happens. Are we going to get lucky? Are we going to pull a Houston Astros? I don't think so. Something tells me we're going to stay right where we are. We did not move up. It was the Orioles and Brewers who both moved up. 8 spots for the Orioles, 5 spots for the Brewers. So we are picking there at 16. Can still get a quality player for sure. Maybe not nearly as good as we did last year, but I'm going to trust my scouts. You guys know that's my mantra now. Trust my scouts. But there we go. Picking 16th. And now, guys, that the draft lottery is over, we are here at the Rule 5 draft. I don't really think anybody is going to be there for us that we're going to want to take. Wow, look at that. Not a lot of people going. And then a bit of a run here. Luis Gonzalez. Oh, wait. Brett Martin went to the Nationals. Okay. These guys. Ooh, Luis Gonzalez has C potential. Okay. At 29, I should say B potential. Yeah, at 29, I don't know if he's ever going to get there. Let's take a look at who's out there. Some decent names. Who are they saying to take? Max Stassi, the backup as a backup catcher. I don't know. I think I'd like to get Drew Romo. I mean, that would have been a good one had we not signed Elias Diaz. You know, these guys I think are fine. I think he's probably a better. I mean, Stassi hasn't played in the majors in 2 years, so I think I'll just kind of flip through myself. See what we got here. Justin Dunn. Nope, definitely not a guy we want. Outfielders, nope. Shortstop, nope. Really, none of these guys. Ketson Hira, maybe if I needed, you know, some power against righties. But no, I think Stassi probably is the best guy. But we are going to pass. Skip the selection there, and I'm going to forfeit all my picks. Is anybody going to take Stassi? No. I'm kind of surprised to see nobody's taking Max Stassi. And seeding the players that they do end up taking. And there we go. We are done with the Rule 5 draft. Free agency, Mike Soroka still does not want to come to us. We could go with Corbin Burns and just spend all the money I mean, I guess we really could. He's 30 years old. We could have a ridiculous rotation, but he does want $25 million a year. I have the money, but not going to spend it just because I have it. And there it is, guys. Mike Soroka is going to sign the 5-year, $80 million deal, and our pitching rotation is now set. Lucas Giolito. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, let's get this all situated so I can read it off and it sounds real good. Soroka here, there, and there. All right. Max Fried leads the line with Lucas Giolito, Mike Soroka, Jack Flaherty, and the youngster Clifford Murdoch, who was our 3rd-round pick just two seasons ago, our first ever draft. Looks like he's turning out to be pretty good. Stratton's not going to be the long reliever, that's for sure. It's going to be one of Manoah or Anderson, probably. So we'll go ahead and move these guys like this. Brad Hand, why don't you be a middle reliever? And there we go. So we can have these two guys duke it out. I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section between Manoah and Anderson, what I should end up doing with them. I just figured it was better not to wait, and we do now have a lefty in the starting rotation, so that's pretty darn good. I really don't think there's anything else I need to be doing right now other than potentially making Alex Verdugo a center fielder. I think I'll go ahead and do that. General primary position center. There we go. Does he go up or down in center? In center field, he's still in 82, so that's fine. But we got Gallo, Verdugo, and Nolan Jones in the outfield, Zach Veen, and Grichuk off the bench. Pretty happy with that outfield. Let's go ahead and get up to whatever happens next. And I think this is probably just going to be me talking to you about what the lineup looks going into spring training. All right, guys, so I'm going to go out and get the best prospect I can for Gio Urshela. The last thing I really had to do, I almost forgot about it, but the last thing I had to do before the offseason was over, I'm going to go out and get Ryan Rasmussen here from the Cleveland Guardians. Again, so much young talent here, but Ryan Rasmussen, 69 overall at 20 years of age, closing pitcher who I could end up turning in to a relief pitcher down the line, but I figured another potential swing at a relief pitcher. Sean Rivas is 30 already, right? Might as well make him a relief pitcher at this point. Same thing with Lucas Gilbreth, so it'll probably be Ryan Rasmussen will be pitching in the Double-A, and John Cannon will pitch in Triple-A while Motzek closes out in the pros. So Gio Urshela, thank you for your service, but we upgraded him with Josh Rojas, and I think Ryan Rasmussen is a great return for this. So there we go, $5 more million in the bank too for our owner. Gotta be happy about that. All right, guys, so the offseason is over, and we are here at the start of spring training, so let's recap what the roster looks like. The pitching rotation is Max Fried, Lucas Giolito, Mike Soroka, Jack Flaherty, and Clifford Murdoch. Jack Flaherty in a contract year, and I just noticed, guys, the team jumped up to 12th overall, 10th in pitching, a top 10 pitching staff, which is beautiful. Speed really the only thing dragging us down, but the contacts in 4th, power 18th, and defense moved up to 16th. Anyway, at catcher, we've got Elias Diaz. Brian Serven will not be the backup. It will be Drew Romo. I'll get that sorted. At first is obviously Ben Langston, who, by the way, guys, go out to 2029. He gets up to a 99 according to the depth chart, which is not always 100% accurate, but that's promising. Brendan Rodgers here with Junior Caminero at second. Ezequiel Tovar with Junior Caminero. And then Ryan McMahon with Junior Caminero. Anyway, I really like the infield. Brendan Rodgers, the 4th best second baseman. Ezequiel Tovar there at short. Ryan McMahon at 3rd. I'm very, very happy about that. And in the outfield, we got Joey Gallo, Verdugo, and Nolan Jones. 2 top 10 at their position. Doogie, I think, is better than what his overall always states. And at the DH, we got Josh Rojas. His contact is there. We could obviously maybe find somebody better for that position. But, you know, whether it's Jonathan Daza, Junior Caminero, Francisco, I got to call him up too. Michael Toglia, probably not, but Francisco will be up soon. So in the bullpen, it's a smattering of guys that I think are pretty solid. Everybody's pitched well in the mid 70s. Nobody's studly. So you guys will have to let me know what to do with the Manoah situation, the Ian Anderson, Alek Manoah situation. You guys let me know what to do there. But I think the 12th best roster, I think we're in a pretty good spot, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. What would you have done differently? And what should I be looking to do in season number 3, which is a big season. This is the one where I want to start making some noise and make the playoffs. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more. And I will see you guys in the next one.
It's a free for all, free for all.